What an emotional last couple days for Toronto sports. With yesterday, DeMar DeRozan's return to Toronto, obviously with the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Raptors yesterday, and with the emotional ending to the way that game ended, and the Blue Jays back. First spring training game was earlier this afternoon, and then for your evening entertainment, the Leafs taking on the Montreal Canadiens at Scotiabank Arena. And the boys did not disappoint. 6-3 winners over the Montreal Canadiens at Scotiabank Arena. And the story today was, start on time, fellas. Let's beat these guys down, get out to an early lead, and we'll be okay. They did the total opposite to that. The Leafs come out lackluster. Can't make a pass. Can't defend. Freddie had a tough time making a save, but he was being hung out to dry left and right, so he can't do anything about it. And after the first period, the Leafs are down 3-0. They're down 3-0 in power plays, and the shots are 20-10 in favor of Montreal. It couldn't have been a more horrendous first start to the period. The Leafs, I don't know what was said in the locker room between the first and the second period, or if anything at all. But it worked. The Leafs come out in the second period, and they get an early power play. And I'm thinking to myself, well, okay, you score a goal here, it could change the momentum of the game, and the Leafs might actually have a big opportunity to come back in this game. John Tavares picks up the puck down low, back to the point to Morgan Rielly, across to Austin Matthews, and he's got a ton of room to just walk down the lane, and he rips it 5-hole on Carey Price, and the Leafs cut the lead to 3-1 Montreal. All right, so we're back into it. We got one goal. Let's keep the train rolling. Later in the second period, Leafs get another power play. But it's the second unit this time. But it looked a lot like the first unit was out there. William Nylander at the right point, where Mitch Marner usually is. He passes it down to Patrick Marleau, where John Tavares usually is. And then, who usually streaks down the left side waiting for the cross-seam pass to bury a beautiful goal usually? Well, it's normally Austin Matthews, but this time, it's Tyler Ennis busting down the left wing. Beautiful feed, cross seam from Patrick Marleau. And Ennis buries it past Carey Price. And the Leafs have cut the lead now to 3-2. It's a one-goal game. After the way that first period went down, the Leafs outscore the Montreal Canadiens 2-0 in the second period. And they outshoot the Habs 15-11. A beautiful second period, but it's not done yet. You gotta find a way to complete the comeback and get the 2 points and move on from it. All right? And at about 7 minutes into the third period, Patrick Marleau, you usually think about dump and chase, you usually think he's going to blast around the boards. Well, Patrick, and sometimes it hits a stanchion and then comes out into the middle of the ice, and everyone's like, whoa, hey, you didn't see that one coming. Patrick Marleau keeps it more or less along the ice, and the yellow, I want to say padding, I guess it is, or somewhat, on the bottom of the boards, it hits some crevice or something, and it pops out into the middle of the ice. Carey Price is almost behind the net because he's ready to play the puck, but he has to scramble to get back into the net because William Nylander pounces on the loose puck and buries it past a sprawling Carey Price, and the Leafs have tied the game at 3. Was it a lucky bounce? Oh, yeah, it was. But do I care? No, not really, because the game is tied. Beautiful job. Nylander's 4th goal of the year, assisted by Marleau and Jake Muzzin. All right, and now that you've tied the game, you want to complete this comeback. And if you're the Leafs, you want this regulation victory because then you get that 2-point lead on the Habs. In the sense, not just a 1-point lead if you beat them in overtime, right? Like the last time we met them at the Bell Center. And with 1:50 to go in regulation, Mitch Marner, from not such a great angle, kind of fires a puck at Carey Price. It hits him in the shoulder, and it goes up, and it drops right in the blue paint. And who loves being there for the Leafs and loves being grindy and never scores a pretty goal? Zach Hyman, and he's there to bang in the rebound. He's fired up. He's got tons of emotion. The Scotiabank Arena blows up. I freak out, and the Leafs take the lead 4-3. Meanwhile, before all this happens, before the Leafs comeback happens, Brendan Gallagher and Max Domi do a lot of this. A lot of talking, a lot of chirping, a whole lot of mouths. But we didn't see a lot of hockey there in the second and third period there, fellas, because you blew a 3-0 lead, and the Leafs got the lead now 4-3 late in the third period. And just under a minute to play, Kasperi Kapanen down the right side, centers into Andreas Johnson, bang, empty net. And then Zach Hyman going straight, he's got a breakaway, and Shea Weber drags him down. They call it a goal because it would have been a goal if he didn't drag him down. And the reason, well, why is it not a penalty shot? Well, you want a penalty shot against an empty net? I mean, that's good. That would be so eventful. Not really. So they just give him the goal anyways. The Leafs win 6-3, and they score 6 unanswered goals. 3-0 lead for Montreal. 6-3 loss. You gotta love it. Leaf fans, look, I don't care what generation you're from. I mean, all that kind of stuff. I don't care who you are. Beating Montreal is sweet. Whether it's the Fraser McLaren and Colton Orr days, whether it's Domi and Sundin and McGillney, or whether it's Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, it is damn good to beat the Montreal Canadiens. It feels so good. And I think the Leafs have won all 3 games against the Habs this year. So it is a great time to be a Leaf fan. And this game was so huge for the Leafs in the game because Montreal has been playing won a couple games in a row coming into it. The Leafs have obviously lost 3 straight games for the first time this year. And the Habs were only behind the Leafs by 3 points. Let's say Montreal hangs on to that 3-0 lead or builds on it, and they beat us in regulation. It's a 1-point, gap between the two teams. But the Leafs being able to come back in the game and get the victory, they now have a 5-point gap between them and the Montreal Canadiens. Now, that can still change at any point in time very fast, but it's a lot better than 1 point. I think we can all agree on that. Frederik Andersen, guys, like I said earlier, had a little bit of a slow start to the game, as pretty much the entire team did. But as the game went along, he faced 15 shots in the second and third period combined. That tells you a few things. It tells you that the Leafs did a pretty damn good job when it comes to keeping the puck out of Freddie's area, because the Leafs needed to play offense, and they did. They allow a total of 4 shots in the third period. 4. They outshoot the Montreal Canadiens. Let me do some math here. 26-15 in the second and third period. The Leafs dominated those frames, and they finished the game off the way they should have started it, hard. And I'm proud of these guys. I really am. Look, the way they've played lately and the way they started this game, it looked like it was no question it was going to be a wash for the Leafs. But it wasn't. And I'm proud of these guys. Next up for the Buds, though, they welcome in the Buffalo Sabres to Scotiabank Arena. Excuse me. Whoa, what was that? On Monday night, guys. 7 o'clock puck drop there as the Leafs look to get back-to-back victories against divisional teams. And the Buffalo Sabres are a team that's trying to hang on to their playoff hopes and trying to get back into the race. They beat the Washington Capitals today. So they look to kind of gain some momentum there, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys enjoyed the victory today. Smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below. What'd you think of the game? What'd you think of the video? Who is your MVP in today's game? Mine is Austin Matthews, because after that goal that he scored in the second period, everything went to his legs, and he was on fire, and it was chance after chance after chance after chance to score. He was incredible. I loved his game. If you guys have any other suggestions about who your player of the game was, go ahead. Let me know in the comments below, guys. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this game, this team, and all that great stuff heading towards the trade deadline, which is Monday against Buffalo. So the next time we talk to you guys, Leafs Edition, we'll know what our team will look like heading into the playoffs. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait. Got to take it one game at a time, though, all right? So Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition sometime this week. We're not exactly sure as of right now when we will be able to do that. Oh, excuse me, guys. It's really cold outside. Raspy, all that great stuff. Links are in the description, guys, for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff, and I will talk to you guys Raptors edition as they welcome in the Orlando Magic to Scotiabank Arena tomorrow afternoon. It's a 3:30 tip-off at Scotiabank Arena. The Raptors look for their 8th straight victory, and they look to continue this home stretch that they're on, or I guess home stand, on a really good note. They're playing great. They haven't lost in the homestand yet. They look to continue that role. I think they look to go for their 5th straight at home during this break. I think they have a 6-game homestand. I think this is game 5 tomorrow against Orlando. I could be wrong. It could be game 4. But you guys can let me know that in the comments below. All right. And as for the Buds, guys, like we said, we will talk to you guys on Monday night as the Leafs welcome in the Buffalo Sabres to Scotiabank Arena. 7 o'clock puck drop. Linus Ullmark, Frederik Andersen are the expected starters in that game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.